Now, one of the best places to throw a big swim bait is on long points. It's one of my favorite things. So I'll pull up, my Humminbird. I run Humminbird units. I'll pull up an 1199, and I've got one specifically for mapping. I'll enter a Navionics chip in there, and I'll start looking at the contour lines, and I look for places that have main channel swings, either the main river channel or a creek channel, depending on the time of the year. But the long extending point, it's flat on top, but it has to have at least one steep side. So you look for the places where those contour lines come together really tight. When your contour lines are wide apart, it's a flatter, slower sloping bank. As they get closer together, it's a steeper bank, and that's what you want, because that creates an ambush point. That's what these big fish want. They want to have a place where they can hide, and as the bait fish come over the top of that point, they can come straight up and eat them and surprise the bait fish, because that way they don't have to chase them down. They get fat by being lazy. They don't want to be chasing a bunch of shad around. They want a big bait that they can just sneak up on and eat it. So when I pull up to the long point, you say, this trough is a big long point. I got one side of it that's real steep and another flat side. I'll pull up on the outside of this point first thing, and I'll throw this bait up shallow on that point, and I'll bring it right down the edge. In the clear water, you can actually see where it'll be, the watercolor will actually look lighter on top, and it gets into a dark blue where that drop off is. That's where you want to throw that bait, is right along the edge where that creek channel comes in on that steep drop. And it's a nice, slow, easy reel. You don't have to do anything to actually make the action of this bait. The design of it actually does it all with the handle turns. And it's super easy to use. Now the cool thing with it is, say these fish are following, I can see way out there, I've got a fish that's following this bait, it's coming in nice and slow, and you can change the retrieve speed, but I can actually make this bait turn all the way around and face them. And so what that does is that a bass, in their world, everyone thinks that a fish comes up from behind and they eat it head first. But what happens with a swim bait actually is that if you think about a bluegill, if you've ever caught a bluegill or something that has a perch that has spiny, fins on top, their dorsal fin's really spiny. Well, if a fish eats that from behind, and they open their mouth, that fish just swims out. The fish can just swim out. So what they'll actually do is they'll stalk up next to it, and they'll get up close to it right where the fish can't really see them, and they'll eat it head first. Because then, if they open their mouth and they have to reposition it, that fish can't swim backwards out of their mouth. The only way it can go is down into their stomach. So it's a win-win for them. So a lot of times, they're opportunistic feeders. They got fat by being lazy. So when I can have a fish following this bait and I can spin it around and make his life that much easier, it's like you sitting on the couch at home and I'm on the other side of the house and I say, hey, you want a cheeseburger? And you say no, and I walk up to you and I hand you a cheeseburger, you're probably going to eat it sitting on the couch. If you feed this bait to them, they're going to take advantage of it. Now what'll happen a lot of times is when you're sitting out deeper off that point, you throw up shallow, and you see those fish, they just keep following the bait out. You throw up there and he follows the bait out again. You throw it up there and he follows it out again. You're thinking, man, why can't I get that fish to bite? Well, this is one thing that I like to do. I'll try to do this without falling in. Is I'll actually take my boat and I will move
walking on water
off the point. I will go out around the point and I will put my boat up on the shallow side. And what that does is that makes that fish commit. They don't have legs, they can't get out on land and chase this bait across the land. So what they have to do is they either have to decide to turn away from this bait or eat, because they're going to run out of water, and they know that. So when you're bringing it out, if I'm on that side taking it deep, they can follow the bait, follow it all the way to the trolling motor, and then they can go down into deep water. It happens all the time. Sometimes that's how they want the bait coming, and that's how you catch them. And that's why I'll start that way, because that's the easiest way to start out. But a lot of times you'll bring that school of fish out there, and you'll bring them out there and they just sit underneath the boat. They actually use your boat for shade. You're driving you nuts, you're smallmouth fishing, you look down and there's a school of 25 pounds sitting underneath your boat using it for shade. So I use their tricks against them. And I put the cards in my hand. And so I actually go around, go away from the point, and I'll come back up shallow, and I'll just drop my power poles almost on the bank, where I'm almost in the dirt. And I'll look at that same line. Remember, this is our creek channel. We got this steep side of this point coming up. It's real flat over here. And I'll make that exact same cast that I made before. So now I've got that school of fish out there deep. And I'll just throw to where my boat was positioned before. And I use the exact same retrieve that I would before. You know, nice, steady, slow retrieve. And it'll bring those fish back up. You can see how all those fish that were down on this end, I brought them over there, and now I can bring them back down to this end of the tank. Okay, so as the water, it's kind of hard to tell because this is just one depth, but as it comes shallower, it makes those fish commit. You know, they have to decide, do I eat or do I not eat? It's like Shakespeare. And so most of the time, they will actually eat because, again, like I said, they're opportunistic feeders. And so when an opportunity for them to fill their belly comes along, a nice easy trout or a shad or a perch, something swimming along, they're going to take that opportunity. And they can't, the only way that a fish can test something out is to put it in their mouth. You know, they don't have hands, they can't grab it and turn it around and look at it. The only tool that they have to investigate something is their mouth. So we take advantage of that, right? We create an opportunity for them. We present the bait the way that we need to, and a way that is going to force them to trigger that reaction for them to eat. So we give them an opportunity to eat this bait. Do I eat or do I not eat? It's like Shakespeare. And so most of the time, they will actually eat because, again, like I said, they're opportunities.